What about what's your thoughts on what's the exact term for it? It's corporate. It's when people saying Coke instead of soda, for instance. Corporate
Like
genericism.
Xerox tissue.
Yeah, Xerox, Kleenex instead of facial tissue.
TiVo got real pissed about
I
that
believe
shit.
it is.
They're the most recent one. They put out a release where they're like, "Hey, stop.
We are
fucking-
TiVo.
Yeah.
That is not TiVo.
That is not. Don't call everything us." Man, it's like,
You don't TiVo shows on your Time Warner
Right?
DVR.
it was like weird. It was like a weird thing. You're like, all right.
Well, they cornered the market or whatever. Then they got all like pissy about
It's
it,
like,
and then
yeah.
they broke their contract with DirecTV and pretty much put themselves out of business.
That's like oddly enough, Adobe does that with Photoshop. They're a little upset when people use Photoshop as a verb. They're like, no. You don't Photoshop things. You use Adobe R, Photoshop TM.
And it just
like,
sounds like
okay.
someone from like
honestly.
1952 who was like, "Hey, don't. What are you?
Listen up, PSE.
Don't genericize our corporate thing.
Right? It's just like a
You're
weird.
Southern
Like
mayor.
it's not a. It's not a.
It's Boss Hog.
Listen
Boss
up,
Hog.
son.
No, this here is a company town.
Now, excuse me, it's called an adhesive strip, not a Band-Aid.
Now, you're like, excuse me, I need to go eat some Montgomery Company chips
You take off your hat and pat your forehead.
with my kerchief in my hand. But it's like, it's weird to like get upset about that. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's weird to get upset about your fucking market cultural dominance. Do you know?
Yeah.
Like, you would never hear like a mafia boss be like, hey,
Man, I can't believe I created a name that everybody uses.
I can't believe I cornered the market so much that you associate this entire action with my entity.
Oh.
I have so unconsciously programmed you to accept my
Now I
creation.
can't make even more billions.
Right? It's a weird, fussy thing, I feel like, to get.
Well, what's strange about it is that I'm given to understand in trademark law, when your trademark has been genericized, you can't, you no longer have control over it. However, I know, for instance, you couldn't launch a search engine also called Google or Google 2 or something like that. But
Oh my God! Wait,
Google too.
dude. Okay.
yo, man, it's
I don't care how
fuck
long.
Google's the old shit.
It
You
might
gotta
last
use
like
Google 2.
48 hours, but if someone released Google 2 right now, you would make a killing. I don't know how you would do it.
New Google.
I want to see what's on Google2.com.
Dude.
Buy it.
Probably just goes to Google.
Just buy it.
You know how awesome the person would be who fucking brought the domain Google 2, then just like made a half-ass website that was like, done.
like on WordPress. They just a shitty WordPress website.
Like straight up like brought back fucking Angel Fire and was like, done. Google 2.
And they linked all the searches to Google.
Yeah, not a bad idea. Hold on, let me just take that real quick.
Like that would be like
Your portal to Google.
like put your head like isn't it
Use
like,
Google too to find Google.
like it's so fucking
Why
laughable.
Google when you can Google too? I'm
Like
just saying.
if you imagine like being an executive at Google and someone comes in all frantic and like, you're like, hey, what's going on? Can't you see him like playing putt-putt in my own fucking like 15-acre office? And I'm like, sir, we
On
have
all these people's
yeah,
heads.
you're like we have a problem, sir. Like, what is it? And I'm like, someone has made a copy. And you're like, what do you mean? There's a Google 2. You're like, what? What do you mean there's a Google 2?
Shut it down.
And you're like you like flip on the fucking news on CNN and like they're going
Inception.
they're going wild about Google 2 and just fucking showing the fucking slow motion screenshots of just the most crude website alive. And you go to it, you're like, this is it? This is Google 2?
It just links back to Google. I don't really. It's not really a big deal.
This is what the world is losing its shit about? You're like, what are we going to do? He's asking for $3 million per letter and number.
Perfect example. Remember a few weeks ago we did that story on the guy who made the book, and the book cover looks like a bottle of Jack Daniels, and Jack Daniels was like, listen, we have to protect our trademark. We understand, and hey, we're flattered. We like whiskey too, but like we can't let you do this, blah, blah. So I don't know how it is, for instance, that Google would retain their trademark while it's still in the dictionary. But I do know that if you say Band-Aid, you got to put that little TM next to it.
Really?
It's actually called a medicated adhesive strip.
You know what's crazy, son? Is like
Or adhesive medical strip?
You know
I
what-
think it's adhesive medical strip.
I was doing some reading today, and like it's just weird how like when you think about how like shitty things are economically or whatever, and then you go back and you read some of the things that a lot of just old dudes got rich off of. You know, it's shit now that you just
adhesive bandage is now what they're calling it. Sorry.
Okay. All right.
Sorry. Adhesive bandage.
But like when you think of some of the things that people got rich off of, back in the day,
Like
and
Isaac
then-
Newton.
right?
Gravity,
Well,
no
not
shit.
even not even that. Like
You're like, oh, it falls down? Great.
He didn't invent gravity.
How'd you come up with that?
Before Isaac Newton, we all just floated.